hail thee, O Yahweh, for thou hast lifted me up, and hast not made my foes to rejoice over me. O Yahuwah, my God, I cried unto thee, and thou hast healed me. O Tatan Zambi, thou hast brought up my soul from the grave, thou hast kept me alive, that I should not go down to the pit. Sing unto the I am, ye saints of his, give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness. For his anger endureth but a moment, but his favor is life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. And in my prosperity I said, I shall never be moved. I am, by thy favor, thou hast made my mountain to stand strong. Thou didst hide thy face, and I was troubled. I cried to thee, O Yahuwah, and unto the I am I made supplications. What profit is there in my blood? When I go down to the pits, shall the dust praise thee? Shall it declare thy truth? Hear, O Sanini Nanini, and have mercy upon me. I am, be merciful, be thou my helper. Thou hast turned for me my mourning into dancing. Thou hast put off my sackcloth and girded me with gladness. Oh, to the end that my glory may sing praise to thee and not be silent. O Yahweh, my God, I will give thanks unto thee forever. Psalms chapter 30. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forevermore. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20 of prayer of Abraham. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yes, we thank God. Yes, all praises to the Most High. Yes, even as the Psalms say, just by praising you, his favor is just letting you live. That's enough right there, his favor. Yes, hallelujah, unto his most wonderful person, even name. And we thank the Most High for all that he has done. Yes, he's given us life. He's given us victory. And that life, that favor that he's given you, is that you might endure until the end in your obedience to his laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances, according to that which you have the ability to do among these heathen. Now, we're in the book of 1 Samuel, still in the book of 1 Samuel, and we are in chapter 29, I'm sorry. Chapter 29, we're nearing the end. And we just read where David was, the king Achish thinks that David is fighting for him. And even Saul, who has about to lose to the Philistines, has caused himself to seek God in a way that God has not prescribed, even through mediums and necromancers. This is what they really are called, necromancers. People that call up the so-called dead. But the Most High, as we understood, has allowed even Saul to call up Samuel out of the grave, but yet to rebuke him. Now, there's a place in the book of Enoch. I'm not going to say you buy the Ethiopian Coptic Bible, or you can buy the book of Enoch as one single book. But understand, as you read, you can go back to my archives. I have the book of Enoch right there as I read through chapter by chapter. You can go through the archives and, sort of gain your own perspective as we walk through it. But the fact is, you need to buy that book of Enoch, because it was one of the books that were also included in the collected books, what we call the Bible. Just what you have in your hand with 66 books, 27 new, or should I say, they say it's new, and you have the others, the 33, that are, should I say, 37, I'm sorry, 36 books I miss it. My count is off. You got me. But either way, those books, the books of the Old Testament, they're not the only books of the Bible. You have the Apocrypha, what they call the Apocrypha. Others call it Doctrine and Bible. They call it the biblical text. See, what you're doing, you're going, when you just only accept this 166 books, you are just accepting that man or a certain denomination of what they call Christianity is giving you, including that slave Bible. They made sure they include that in there. Not only just for the black man or the one who's a slave, but also for their own people. They included that in there for their own people. And this is why I dismiss, and those who agree with me dismiss the so-called New Testament as no good. Because you can get the same information right out the old, but many of us, we rather take the little pill. Now, the New Testament is the big pill. And also, we thank God for those of you who have been with us from the beginning. We thank God for those of you who have been with us. Therefore, and here's about, and we thank the Most High for those of you that have just subscribed and those of you who are about to subscribe, calling those things that are not as though they are. Yes, all praises. We know during this election season, many certain platforms, or should I say platforms on social media platforms, are shadow banned. On many other ones, I hear of others shadow banned where some had as much as, thousands of viewers and subscribers, but yet they only come out to a few hundred or maybe 10, 12, 2. And so it's certain people they're targeting. They're paying for this. I would shadow ban too if I had the same mentality of those who want to shadow ban folks because of the values of those who are paying. Yeah, I would do the same thing. It's all about the money. Really, most platforms don't care what you put down there as long as you go by their community guidelines. But some of the community guidelines are made up. It's not even in the community guidelines, but they'll give you some crazy story as to why you are either suspended or your videos taken down or whatever. Some people had to argue the fact, and some people have to really go into the part of lawsuit because it's a public domain, although it's provided by a private industry. But either way, we're in the book of 1 Samuel and chapter 29. Yes, chapter 29. And it reads, Now the Philistines gathered together all their armies unto Aphek, and the Israelites pitched by the fountain which is in Jezreel, and the lords of the Philistines passed by on hundreds. Now you should say the armies or the generals or the leaders of the Philistines passed on by hundreds and by thousands. But David and his men passed on in the rearward with Achish, and said to the princes of the Philistines, or the leaders, the generals, or whatever, what do these Hebrews hear? And Achish said unto the princes, or the generals, or the leaders of the Philistines, Old English is, it's not even, it will confuse you, I'll put it that way, as this is doing right now. Now, is not this David, the servant of Saul, the king of Israel? See, nobody is doing, when it says they passed by hundreds, the soldiers, they call them lords and all this other stuff. It's not even relevant to this day. And unto the princes of the Philistines, is not this David, the servant of Saul, the king of Israel, which has been with me these days or these years? And have I not found no fault in him since he fell unto me unto this day? Achish not knowing that he's going to defeat him one day and run him out. So he's just gathering up people to know his power. This is it. Verse 4, and the princes of the Philistines, as I said, the captains of the Philistines, were wroth with him, and the princes of the Philistines said to him, make this fellow return, that he go not again to this place which thou hast appointed him, and let him not go down with us to battle, lest in battle he be an adversary to us. For wherewith should he reconcile himself unto his master, should it not be with the heads of these men? Now they're also afraid of David because David had defeated Goliath. In other words, they know God is with David. And verse 5, and is not this David of whom they sang one to another in dances, saying, Saul slew his thousands and David his 10,000s. Now, they got the memo. And Achish called David and said unto him, surely as the I am liveth, thou hast been upright, and thy going out and thy coming in with me, and in the host is good in my sight. For I have not found evil in thee since the day of thy coming unto me this day. Nevertheless, the captains of the Philistines don't favor you, or favor thee not. So the fact is, he's saying that David is a faithful man. David tries to do that which is right. Really, David's whole purpose was to get away from Saul, because Saul was possessed by, or should I say, oppressed, depressed by devils in his mind, and that his heart has been hardened toward David. Really is hardened toward God, David as the proxy. Now therefore, wherefore now return and go in peace, that thou displease not the captains of the Philistines. And David said unto Achish, what have I done? What hast thou find in thy servant so long as I have been with thee to this day, that I might not go up against the enemies of my king? And Achish answered and said to David, I know that thou art good in my sight, and as a messenger of God, or angel of God. That's the definition. Notwithstanding, the princes of the Philistines, or the captains of the Philistines, have said, he shall not go up with us to the battle. Wherefore now rise up early in the morning with thy master's servants that are come with thee, and as soon as ye be up early in the morning and have light, depart. So David and his men rose up early to depart in the morning to return to the land of the Philistines. And the Philistines went up to Jezreel. Okay, and get away from us, they saying, get away. We're going to go into the next chapter, chapter 30 and verse 1. Yes, we are. We're going to keep going a little bit. And it came to pass when David and his men were come into Ziklag on the third day, that the Amalekites had invaded the south of Ziklag, and smitten Ziklag and burned it with fire, and had taken the women captives, and were therein they slew not any, either small or great, but carried them away and went on their way. So this is what David did. So David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captives, is what he saw. And David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept until they had no more power to weep. I mean, this is what David had to get back. He was supposed to protect these people. And David's two wives were taken captives, Ahinoam and the Jezreelitess, and Abigail, the widow of Nabal, the Carmelite. And David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because of the soul of all the people was grieved, every man of his sons for his daughter. But David encouraged himself in the I am his God. In other words, God's going to work this out. He did it for a reason. I mean, sometimes when things are devastating, you're just going to have to look at God and say, I don't know why, but I know you got a plan for me this day. I don't know why, but I know you're going to give me strength to show your power in me toward my enemy. I don't know why you did this or allowed this most holy Sanini Nanini Data and Zambe Ya Allah. Yes, Yahweh Yahuwah. I don't know why you did this. But there's something good going to come out of this for me, even as in the increasing of my confidence towards you. Yes. Oh, glory to his name. But anyway, and David said to Abiathar, the priest, Amalek's son, I pray thee, bring me hither the ephod. And Abiathar brought thither the ephod to David. And David inquired at the I am, saying, shall I pursue after? There you go again. Before even Saul made his own decisions. And when God didn't answer him, he still made his own decisions. Shall I overtake them? In verse 8, I am. And he answered him, pursue. For thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. So David went, and he and the 600 men that were with him, and came to the brook of Besor, and where those that were left behind stayed. But David pursued, he and 400 men. God had to give these 400 men some really enduring strength and stamina to defeat these men and these enemies. For 200 abode behind. In other words, he knew to leave a garrison behind to protect those which were left. Now, which were so faint that they could not go over the brook. He said 200 abode behind. They were faint, but they still had to protect. And they found an Egyptian in the field and brought him to David and gave him bread, and he did eat. And they made him drink water, and they gave him a piece of a cake of fig and 2 clusters of raisins. And when he had eaten, his spirit came again to him, for he had eaten no bread or drunk any waters 3 days and 3 nights. Now you have to realize, in a place like that, or you're in the wilderness, whether it's desert or not, you haven't eaten in 3 days, and you're walking and trying to get your way to some type of civilization or something. 3 days can be a lot. Whereas if you're in one place and you have all that you need, and especially water, 3 days of fasting is nothing. You're going to go through the different, should I say, I've done 3, I've done up to 5, yes. But 3 days is, you're going to go through the different levels. First, it's going to be your body is going to take the sugars, and some of you get side effects as headaches, and some of you might start dreaming of eating food. Some of you might bite on your tongue. It just depends. Sometimes it'd be best to wear some type of mouth protection, Those who snore at night, or those who grind teeth, you can put that in your mouth. You can buy them from different big box stores or small drug stores. Just something to keep you from chewing on your tongue. You'll start chewing on that when you start dreaming of food. Some of you might have that side effect. And 3 days of fasting is really easy. You drink your water as you're thirsty. And it's really, you won't feel like reading the Bible. You won't even feel like praying. Tell you the truth, many won't even feel like praying in that time of fasting. Now, your body is trying to convert over to consuming the fat that is on your body. Now, some have been fasted up to a year with just only drinking water, depending on the fat content of the body. Once the body turns to fat, then it takes, at a nominal thing, approximately 7 days, give or take. Yes, 7 days to turn from sugar and carbohydrate consumption to just the fat in your body. God has given his body a very beautiful mechanism to where it can withstand even, should I say, when there is scarcity of food, to turn to the fat that is in your body. Doesn't mean that you just go ahead out and get fat like that, and then ruin, because fat can carry all kind of other things that are detrimental to your body. But if your body is eating it, it's going to get rid of it anyway. Now, let's continue. He says, now, and David said to him, to whom belongest thou? And whence art thou? And he said, I am a young man of Egypt, servant to an Amalekite. And my master left me because 3 days gone I fell sick. And we made an invasion upon the south of the Cherulites, and upon the coast which belongeth to Judah, and upon the south of Caleb. And we burned Zillag with fire. And David said to him, Canst thou bring me down to this company? And he said, Swear unto me by God that thou wilt not neither kill me nor deliver me in the hands of my master, and I will bring thee down to this company. And when he had brought him down, behold, they were spread about all the earth, eating and drinking and dancing, because of all the great spoils they had taken out of the land of the Philistines and out of the land of Judah. You have to realize the land of the Philistines was still left over from those who had not conquered the full land of Canaan. They just call them Philistines. And David smote them from the twilight to the evening. And this is the strength of God that God had given him. Just like if you read in the book of Jasher, God gave the sons of Jacob strength to defeat their enemies, to slew thousands. And even Judah himself had a scream upon them that everybody recognized, and it pierced even their ears. And it says, David smote them from the twilight even to the evening, and there escaped not a man save 400 young men which rode upon camels and fled. You couldn't catch them. And David recovered all the Amalekites had carried away, and David rescued his 2 wives. Yes. Now, those were valuable wives. And there was nothing lacking to them, neither small nor great, neither sons nor daughter, neither spoil nor anything that they had taken to them. David recovered all. God had allowed this. And David took all the flocks and the herds which they drave before the other cattle and said, This is David's spoil. And David came to the 200 men which were so faint that they could not follow David, whom they had made also abide at the brook of Bezor, and they went forth to meet David and to meet the people that were with him. And when David came near to the people, he saluted them. Then answered all the wicked men, the men of Belial, of those that went with David, and said, Because they went not with us, we will not give them aught, a spoil that we have recovered, save to every man his wife and his children, that they may deliver them away. Belial, selfishness, wicked intention. It's a covetousness. It's all the things that God mentions in the commandments that we should not even harbor in our hearts. I mean, they weren't adulterous in their heart because they gave their wives and their children back. But they were jealous, covetous, that they should not even share with their own brethren who were too faint to go with them. Now, then David said, David, shall ye not do so, my brethren, with that which the I Am have given us, to have preserved us, and delivered the company that have came against us into our hand? For who will hearken unto you in this matter, but as his part is that goeth down to the battle, so as his part that ye tarrieth by the stuff, and they shall take part alike. In other words, you took care of the rear. We still going to bless you anyway, regardless of whether you had to endure a fight, because it was the I Am that really won the battle, period. And it was so from that day forward that he made it statute and an ordinance for Israel unto this day. Yes, this is how statutes and ordinances were made that were just in accordance with the law. They were poor just like anyone else. You can take anything out of the law and fit it to this situation, really. Now to them which were in Bethel, and to them which were in South Ramoth, and to them which were in Jatir, and to them which was in Aor, and unto them which were in Siphmoth, and to them which were in Estimoa, and to them that were in Rachel, and to them which were in cities of the Jerahmeelites, and to them which were in the cities of the Kenites, and to them which were in Hormah, and to them which were in Korashan, and to them which were in Atak, and to them which were in Hebron, and to all the places where David himself and his men wont to hunt. In other words, he was being king. He took care of the people. He was being president. He took care of the people. He made sure of their welfare. Now, you take care of your people, as any military unit or anyone would say, you take care of your people will take care of you. That's not to such in many democratic states. It's the people take care of you while you take care of you. And you tell them what you do, what to do that you don't do. Now, that is the evil of that type of mentality. Regardless of the definition of democracy, people use that term to mean, it means something else, but they're always trying to push to you democracy, democracy. When someone says democracy, you better look at how they're conducting their business among the people that pay taxes, the people that are serving the governing body through taxes and labor and everything else. What are they doing? Is it really a democracy? Is it a dictatorship? Is it theocracy or something like that, where the leader has been there so long he's almost like the king? Are they going by the Constitution that is written that's supposed to be model of a democratic state? See, these things we don't really recognize. They have used the thing of giving you so many narratives that you forget what the actual Constitution of that country and the statutes and ordinances and laws of that country really are. They got you. You forget so quick. They get your mind snapped off real quick. If the people are not taken care of, this is not a democracy. That country is not a democracy. It's a dictatorship, it's a kingship, it's whatever other than democracy or anything that's close to it. But nevertheless, David took care of his people even after he left. Now, David's going to do some great feats in ensuring that, and God's going to do it through David in ensuring that Israel has peace during the reign of Solomon. And with that, we're going to say peace.
Walk with me.